He'll be on his sighting lap as we speak, as Tixier just runs wide into the sand. How much time has that cost the former MX2 world champion? Double, triple, triple combo down this back straight, the first rhythm section. Berms are so nice. Look how nice they are today. That'll soon change though. 23.895. So Ambert's time at the intermediate is still quicker. But remember, Ambert messed up in that left-hander a moment ago on his flying lap. So Tixier, stays second. 4,500 in it between them. Tixier fell in the whoops here. He said his front end missed one of the holes and threw him off. That's what he said to me today. Probably about 10 minutes before we came on air, actually. I was down in the paddock. Anyway, here's Cedric Soubeyras. He had a good super pole yesterday, and he had a decent day out on track as well. So Soubeyras, fans on their feet, willing him to come through. His time this afternoon was a 40.366. Can he go below 41? Ahead of the two riders in front of him. Yeah, there you go, 3/10 underneath. Rails that turn, just picks up the front end. The rider's saying the whoops are a lot quicker today as well. Out of the final turn then, and Soub. Will he go top? Yes, he does. A whole second, and he is in the 40s, a 40.115. So Cedric Soubeyras, 2/10 quicker than he was this morning in their one and only session on the track, which was a time practice session today. Remember, the first 8 will be lining up how they finish in this session here. Hunter Lawrence, 5th for him today, a 40.287. The time for him to beat, though, is a 41.15 of Soubeyras. In and out of that turn nicely, barely catches that Dragon's back. Oh, not a lot in it, 900ths. Very relaxed down there when he was doing all his signings today. Can he topple Soubeyras, yes or no? Yeah, yes, he does, a 41.01. Wow, look at the time, 0.014 difference. Now the linkage is working there, look. Shock. Like those super slow-mos through the woods. Anyway, here comes Cooper Webb. So Cooper Webb was 4th earlier on. His best time was a 40.286. Severely lacking sleep today. Got too clean through the sand. Can he pick up time through this next rhythm section and through the whoops? See what his split is going to be. The best split is a 40.101 a moment ago from Hunter Lawrence, and he's 0.04 off of that at the moment. So we're going to come down to how hard he can brake and get in and out of this turn here. Can he stay nice and low through the finish line area? And Cooper Webb, only 3rd for him, a 40.165. So Gregory Aranda is going to be next.
Et Hunter Lawrence, c'est là évidemment le spécialiste tricolore de la discipline. Le spécialiste de la superpole mode racing. Il est français, pilote Yamaha GSM d'Afrique Michelin, numéro 20. Vous le poussez dans cet exercice depuis des années.
So Aranda is next, number 20. Starts the clock now. The intent, the urgency through that first turn at the start of this lap for him. Rails the outside, doesn't want to take the risk of trying to commit to the inside and messing up. This looks like it's already going to be a first intermediate split, the fastest intermediate split possibly for Aranda. Coming up any moment now. Will it be green? Yes, half a second. Massive gain for Gregory Aranda. And nicely through the whoops as well. Oh, rails the left turn, the penultimate turn. Aranda looking for pole position here provisionally. Can he beat the 40.101? Yes, he can. He's in the 39s at 39.1 for Greg Aranda. So he is going to still be at least third. Just 2 riders to go, Ken Roczen and Jet Lawrence. And he's just put in a 39.127. Roczen's time earlier was a 39.5. Aranda's was a 39.9. So this track is getting quicker. Can Kenny go even quicker this time around as well? On-off triple. And he takes the wide line as well. That security railing that turn a lot quicker today.
Le record d'Aranda, c'est 16,248. Il faut qu'on regarde le passage de Kenny Roczen. 16,248.
First split coming up.
On va tout de suite avoir une indication avec le premier partiel.
Nicely done, and it's green. Not a lot in it though. 500ths this time around. Can he hold it together? Can he hit Aranda's time? 39.1. Will he be in the 38s? For the first time this weekend, that will be as well. Whoa, he's off. So Aranda will be going to the line at least second. Ken Roczen the 39.2. Quicker than his time earlier, but it's going to be good enough for second at the moment, maybe even third, depending on what Jet Lawrence does. So Lawrence down the start straight now, making his way to the final turn. And Jet Lawrence getting ready to start his lap as they go talking down there to Greg Aranda. On to that plateau. Is he going to go wide as well? Well, he cuts to the inside, and that was also nicely done. Good corner speed here. Are we looking at a green sector? No. Wow, so this is going to be very tight between Aranda, Roczen and Jet Lawrence here. He's got good speed over the whoops, though. Has he made up for that? Well, he's a little bit untidy through there, but has he been able to pull it back? Rails the final turn. It's going to be tight. Oh, and Aranda will start on pole. Roczen second. Jet Lawrence will go to the line in third. And it's going to be 1,000 Bud Racing euros for Gregory Aranda. Wow. The first little upset of the day.
Et Greg Aranda qui va y aller. Il aime bien les sous, hein. Il est en fin de carrière, il prépare son plan retraite là, Greg Aranda. Allez, regardez la photo et l'image vidéo de Greg Aranda. C'est un garçon qui s'était déjà imposé il y a près d'une dizaine d'années dans la superpole devant tous
Handing him the check there.
Ouais, voilà quand même aller chercher un chrono Francis devant Jet Lawrence, c'est quand même quelque chose d'énorme. Attention Greg. Oui, Greg.
What a lap that was for Gregory Aranda.
Pendant les courses. Possible?
Ah, ça va être compliqué. J'arrive vraiment à tout donner sur un tour et voilà, le public qui m'a poussé, je l'entendais à bloc. Donc merci à tout le monde et voilà, je suis content d'avoir remporté une superpole ce week-end. Ça faisait longtemps, donc merci vraiment. Merci.
Oh, he chucked it in there, didn't he? Thought he was on a motocross track for a minute.
Alors, ce qu'on doit quand même évidemment compléter, c'est juste encore un exploit plus important parce que lorsque Jet Lawrence s'était lancé, il savait que Greg Aranda était devant. Et il savait qu'il n'y a pas eu d'effet de surprise. Il était obligé de signer une super performance.
Greg Aranda on pole for the first race. Ken Roczen goes to line second ahead of Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Cedric Superas, Cooper Webb, Lucas Ambert and Jordi Tixier. And then ninth place onwards, how they finished in their original time practice session this morning. That's only for the first race. Race 2 is how they finished in race 1 and race 3 how they finished in race 2. Apart from the 250 riders who are making their way out on track now, for the 250 riders here, their time session from this morning determines their gate pick now. Race 1 position for gate 2, then they have a superpole before race 3. And it's going to be the top 6 riders from race 1 and race 2, or the top 6 overall in the classification, that will be shooting that out. And so there could be a gate change there for the first 6 going into the final race, just to freshen things up. Here's how the riders line up then for SX2 race 1. Jason Owen on pole, Shimoda goes to line second ahead of Tom Biel, Anthony Bourdon, Maxime Debray, Cullen Park, Calvin Fonbiel and Charles Francois, with Brian Sue, who had an up and down day yesterday, and the rest of the riders. But coming into this, Joe Shimoda is leading. He is leading the Prince of Percy category at the moment. A win in race 1, a win in race 2, a third in race 3. After he had issues. He had a bad start, and then he went off track just by the freestyle ramps there, where a rider tagged his wheel and just pushed him off track. Couldn't get back on, remounted in about 13th place. A massive ride to get back to third in what was only a 9-minute plus 1 lap race. So Joe Shimoda on 5 points. Jace Owen, a second, third, and a second. He's on 7 points. Third is Tom Vial, an 8th, a second, and a first. His night got better. He is still in range on 11. And then we've got Anthony Bourdon, 3 fourth places for him, so 12, and then Colin Park on 13. Of course, that's all going to change after this race, and we will keep tabs as things go on. Joe Shimoda favoured gate number 2 yesterday, and he somehow managed to get that gate 2 again today. So Jace Owen favouring that inside gate just like he did yesterday. And Anthony Bourdon, he's having a good solid ride for Bud Racing. Kawasaki. Eric Sorby there in the background with a hat.
Ouais, Anthony Bourdon qui, je le disais, était très régulier hier, et franchement, Anthony au classement provisoire, il est très bien placé. On continue de se déplacer sur cette grille de départ avec la plaque numéro 28.
Tom Vial.
Vous l'avez vu tout à l'heure, Francis, Tom
The whoops are a little bit quicker today. Is that going to be of a benefit to the Rebel KTM rider?
Plus relâché qu'hier, en début de soirée, on le sentait un peu tendu, un peu fébrile, c'est normal. Et on a vu que cette finale remportée hier soir a dû sans doute débloquer un peu le compteur. Il va falloir compter avec lui. Et je rajoute même que sa position sur la grille de départ me paraît
victorious in the French championship race earlier on today.
Mais c'est vrai qu'il a une bonne position sur la grille. On enchaîne
So he's already had a race under his belt, knows exactly how the track is going to perform, but they've also been out on the track, flattened all the whoops and fixed all the corners, so the track almost brand new. Well, it is brand new, just apart from that superpole session just a few moments ago. But just like yesterday, 5 minutes plus a lap, the race duration for race 1 and race 2. It's 9 minutes plus a lap for the final race of the day, sometime around about sort of 5:15, 5:30, something like that, local time. 15-second board up for the first time, day 2 here at the Paris La Défense Arena in Nanterre on the outskirts of Paris. 5-second board is going to change any moment now. Heads down, revs up. Who's it going to be that grabs that Oxmoto hole shot? Oh, these two riders tried to go early, and Jace Owen just getting caught out. Shimoda managed to just bring everything back, and it's he who takes another Oxmoto hole shot. Looks across, sees Owen to his inside. Good recovery that from the American on the 401. The Francois there, the 225 is next. Then Bourdon. And then Dupre, I think, is next in 5th position. Fantastic start yesterday for Joe Shimoda. First time out on that Honda. Vial was buried down in the pack there. Where is he? 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6th or 7th place. So Shimoda leads, Owen second, Bourdon third, Le Francois in 4th place. 5th Dupre, 6th Vial. Vial trying to go around the outside in the sand there. Can Jace Owen challenge Joe Shimoda today? Owen, of course, former Prince back in 2018, right here, so he knows what it takes to become a Prince of Paris, does Jace Owen. But Shimoda just eking out that gap at the moment. 1.4 seconds between first and second. Tom Vial now up into 4th place. Here he is, the number 28. Can't afford Shimoda to get too far away if he is to seriously challenge for the Prince of Paris title. Tom Vial. See Vial just coming towards us now on the Dragon's back, going after Anthony Bourdon on that green Kawasaki. Talking to Shimoda's mechanic this morning. He's an Englishman who's been to Australia, Ben, and he was saying that that time session, because yesterday they had a free practice and then a time practice session, 15 minutes each. Went out on track today and they thought it was just another free practice session. Then they realized it was a time session, so they had to get a bit of a hurry up. So it's pretty much why Shimoda's time was where it was. And then when he did try to put a lap in, Calvin Fonvielle had got taken out by Josh Varese on the start Varg. Said he didn't hear him coming up the inside of him. Next minute he was on the ground in the final turn. Anyway, here is Vial. Fourth place, pushing Bourdon. Oh, both riders lighting up, and again Vial just a little bit off balance on the exit of the turn. That's the turn where he fell in race 1 yesterday, but he was a little bit wider and off the race line when the back end spun around on him. And that's allowed Bourdon just to sneak a few valuable meters on him. But Shimoda, 2.5 seconds clear almost of Owen. Bourdon third. Here's Vial in fourth, giving chase to his fellow countrymen. We've got Maxime Dupre fifth, Cullen Park in sixth, Lefrancois 7, Hugo Manzato, Calvin Pombiel, and Brian Sue. Vial losing ground again to Bourdon. Minute and a half or thereabouts, plus a lap remain in this first SX2 race. Cuts to the inside, maybe gains a few yards there, but maybe lost a couple on the exit. He stays nice and low there as he jumps on off. Oh, front end getting away from him there. Oh, and he catches the tough block, almost catches his handlebar on the barrier there as well. Vial just a little bit erratic at the moment. And that all started because the front end got away from him. He committed to the Dragon's back, but he was still then pushed offline. Caught the tough block and almost clipped the straight up padded barrier. I'm not even sure if it's padded actually. This is Vial through the whoops. Just got focus there. The eyes through the clear lens of his goggles. Shimoda 3.4 seconds clear. It's going to be 2 laps to go because he's out of the final turn now. His lap times this time around a 41.5. He just set the fastest lap a moment ago, a 41.084. So once again, looking good for Joe Shimoda. Just got a bit of a kick there coming out of that turn. First time in Paris. Knows all about jet lag, because obviously he's been back and forth to Japan a few times in recent years, but first time in Paris. Not his first time in Europe though. Remember he did the F1 Junior World Championship when he was on a Suzuki actually, I believe, years ago, before he went to America. And something tells me it was back in 2013 when we had that festival at Mattingly Basin. Would have been riding with riders like David Buches and maybe even a young Prado at the time. Anyway, Shimoda, final lap. A couple of corners to go. Into the whoops for the final time. Can't take the whoops for granted either. Casual look across. And out of the final turn, Joe Shimoda takes his third win from 4 starts here in Paris. Jace Owen second, Bourdon third, Vial fourth. And then we should have Dupre. So Maxime Dupre over the line now. In fact, Cullen Park fifth, Dupre sixth, Charles Francois making his way through, hits the line now in 7th place. And I can see out of my window, Brian Sue 8th, Calvin Pombiel will be 9th. And in 10th place, it looks like it will be Hugo Manzato. And it is.
De ce supercross de Paris, bien visiblement, Joe Shimoda s'est rapidement adapté.
Allez, Joe Shimoda a un petit peu de patience, il vient d'arriver, en train de débriefer à chaud avec son mécanicien, en ce moment il retire son casque.
Valérie Fleur, très bon ralenti, regardez les ralentis de Jérôme Ramos avec la précision du pilotage de Joe Shimoda. C'est presque, comment dire, c'est presque frustrant, parce que ça semble facile pour Joe Shimoda.
Joe Shimoda, another perfect race then. Oxmoto whole shot, turned it into a win, led every single one of those laps. Here's the confirmation. Shimoda wins it from Owen, Bourdon, Vial and Park with Dupre, Lefrancois, Sue, Fonvielle and Manzato.
Qui ne fait pas le début de soirée que l'on pouvait éventuellement imaginer. 8e.
Allez, Joe Shimoda qui est en train de se rapprocher. s'approcher du podium. Et on va l'accueillir bien sûr, le pilote officiel. On rappelle que c'est sa première sortie à Yoshimoda au guidon de la nouvelle 250 CRF. Il retrouve la marque de ses débuts, Yoshimoda, machine qu'il pilotera bien sûr l'année prochaine en championnat US de supercross. Le voici, hein. On l'accueille, vainqueur de cette première manche et cycle de Yoshimoda.
Yoshimoda the winner then for the third time in 4 races. Here he is. Let's hear what he has to say.
First race, first victory. It was the same scene last night. How do you feel? You told me I'm a little bit tired, but now all is good.
Yeah, I mean, you have to get through it. No, I'm enjoying it. That one, I had a good start, so just try to get away from everyone, and then I think I rode a decent pace, so I'm stoked on it.
Alors c'est vrai, j'ai dit que j'étais un petit peu fatigué, mais finalement je suis super bien parti. J'ai trouvé mon rythme et puis j'ai creusé l'écart et je pense qu'au fil de la soirée, je vais être de plus en plus rapide. Voilà, c'est notre premier vainqueur de la soirée, Yoshimoda.
Yeah, good job and another solid start for Yoshimoda, of course. Nothing wrong with that Honda out of the gate, is there?
Allez, rapidement, vite, on va également récompenser, mais pendant que le sighting lap se met...
SX1 riders out on track for their sighting lap. There was the Oxmoto whole shot. And here is Yoshimoda collecting another black plate. Was it 2 yesterday?
Allez, effectivement, Francis, avec notre partenaire Oxmoto qui va remettre la plaque du all shot à Yoshimoda. Voilà, donc pour Yoshimoda, c'était le meilleur départ et ensuite la victoire, on le retrouvera tout à l'heure. En attendant, vous l'avez constaté, les pilotes de la catégorie SX1 sont en train de se préparer pour leur première manche, hein, le tour de reconnaissance. Et ils vont venir donc se
So the SX1 riders coming towards the end of their sighting lap then. The first few positions were rejigged in that superpole a few moments ago. Gregory Aranda will go to the line on pole ahead of Ken Roxon, Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence, Cedric Zubaras, Cooper Webb, Lucas Humbert and Jordi Tixier. And then the rest of the riders from ninth as they were from the time training session. So Gregory Aranda is going to take the first gate pick and he's going to go closest to the doghouse, first gate in on the left-hand side. Ken Roxon going to slot in alongside him there, the number 94 on the progressive PMG Suzuki. Jet Lawrence, he preferred that gate 2 yesterday. He is going to be, what, gate 3 or gate 4? He's still agonizing over his decision where to go. Does he go directly next to Ken Roxon, or does he go to the outside of him and give a space up for Hunter Lawrence to slot in between? And that's exactly what he's done, but Hunter is going a little bit further out. Sub has just wasted no time and going into gate 3. So Jet Lawrence, Hunter Lawrence thinking as the guys up the inside just back off, they can just back off a split second later and sweep through, maybe coast and use the outside line a little bit more. Either way, unknown territory for Lawrence, who was always in that gate 2, and it might not seem much to be another 3 gates over to his right-hand side. But it can make a difference, especially if you don't get a good jump. His starts were on point yesterday. Kenny's weren't great. That was one of his things, and his riding, he said, was not how he expected to be, to the level that he wanted to be. Cooper Webb just to the right, to the left, as we look down there of Hunter Lawrence on the number 2. He was saying, when I spoke to him earlier today, just a little bit of arm pump, just feeling a little bit tired. But Yoshimoda also saying that when they spoke to him at the riders' presentation. There is the number 2, Cooper Webb. But says it is good preparation for Anaheim, which is 2 months away from now. Monster Energy AMA. Monster Energy Supercross. Anaheim A1 on the first weekend in January after New Year. So what's that, the 6th of January? Start. A lot of time between now and then, but it will be gone in a blink of an eye. these guys will go back to work, those that have come here knowing exactly what they need to work on in the remaining of the off-season. But coming in, Jet Lawrence on 3 points, Hunter Lawrence 10 points, Kenny on 11, tied with Cooper Webb. Gate drop here, and it's Hunter Lawrence who does sweep through, and he's got Cooper Webb to the outside, Kenny up the inside, who just looked like he caught the rear wheel of the 96 ahead of him. Jet Lawrence in 6th or 7th position at the moment as he comes through, and Kenny makes that 2nd position his own. Looks across, defends to prevent Webb coming through. But where is Lawrence? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's in 7th place at the moment, getting into all kinds of shenanigans. Coming out of this turn now. There he is. So this is going to be an interesting scenario. Hunter Lawrence leading. Kenny, who felt that he wasn't riding great yesterday. Is he going to switch to the inside? Yes, he is. But so too does Hunter Lawrence. These two pretty much going bar to bar. And here comes Ken Roxon down the inside. Not close enough, but not even close enough to show him a front fender. Had to check up there, did Ken Roxon. Different rhythm, but there's Jet Lawrence jumping into that turn now in the background as Hunter Lawrence making a break for it at the front of the field. Lawrence alongside. Humbert takes another position. He's got Aranda ahead of him, so Aranda has also found his way past the number 72. So over the line then, Hunter Lawrence leads, Kenny Roxon 2nd, Cooper Webb 3rd, Aranda 4th, Jet Lawrence is in 5th place. Hunter Lawrence with the fastest lap of the race, though, 40.7, no one else in the 40s. 6.5 minutes plus a lap remain. Remember, this is only an 8 minute, an 8 minute plus 1 lap race. Now he's got a little bit of open track around him, and Aranda looks across, and it was almost like he got spooked there. Opened up the door. Didn't need a second invite there, the number 18, Jet Lawrence. Looked across like, whoa, you're going to come through anyway. So Lawrence now up into 4th place. And he puts the fastest lap by 2/10 over Hunter Lawrence, the race leader. The gap between him and his brother is about 5 seconds as they hit the line that time around. We've got just under 6 minutes to go, plus a lap. Is he going to be able to whittle that gap down? He was quick to close down Ken Roxon when he made that mistake in race 3. Lost about 6 seconds in the crash, picked himself up about 3 seconds adrift, and within the space of a lap or two had whittled it down, and before he knew it, he was leading again. And Lawrence again, Jet Lawrence, a 40.4, 3/10 quicker than Ken Roxon, who's out of the seat and almost out the front door. That's cost him time. That brings Cooper Webb and Jet Lawrence that little bit closer, crucially. He was already in a little bit of pain with that foot injury from Abu Dhabi, and then he fell on it again yesterday in race 2. And that wouldn't have done it any favours either. There's Jet Lawrence now all over the back of Cooper Webb. He is just so much quicker over the ground, isn't he? And it's going to be half a second here, half a second there in each corner. Everything that he does, and then staying lower on the jumps, maybe a little bit more clinical in certain areas. But now that he's got to Cooper Webb, he's just parked there ever so slightly, longer than he wanted to be, no doubt. But the first 4 now on the same part of the racetrack. He clips a tough block on the way out of that turn. Doesn't gain too much on Webb. Through the whoops. Gets in and out of there early as well. Is there going to be in-out here on this turn? Yes, there is, but just couldn't quite get on the power quick enough. Thought he might have gone long and tried to rail around the outside there. But following Coops here, still less than 4 minutes plus a lap to go. Is he getting frustrated? Just parked there behind the number 2. Don't need a... Here we go. Gets good drive. Can he cut down? Yes, he tried to. Good effort this from Webb, keeping him back there, fighting for that position. This time he was, again, just not able to execute. You can see him working hard, though. Trying to second-guess everything that Webb is doing. He is running out of time, though. Goes to the inside. He's setting it up. There you go. He switched his line midway through the rhythm section. He could see that halfway along. He said, right, I'm not going to follow. I'm going to cut across. And then when I land, I'm going to go straight for the apex. And that's exactly what he did. Jet Lawrence now up in a third place. But can he whittle down what is going to be around about 3 or 4 seconds? My guess is no, with just over 2.5 minutes plus a lap to go. But it depends on how much Roxon feels he's getting held up by Hunter, if that's the case. Blue flag's being waved for the back marker behind Roxon here. And Jet Lawrence has cleared the back marker, all three, and he is closing massively. Here he is, just coming into view now. This was the pass on Webb. Webb knew that it was coming. But as they hit the line any moment now, and Jet Lawrence just losing a little bit of ground through the whoops there that time around. The gap between them, 2.5 seconds. Roxon just lighting up the back end. That allows Jet Lawrence just to get on the power a little bit smoother. Closes about another half a second. He has Roxon right there in his line of sight. Hunter Lawrence denied victory on the final turn in race 2 yesterday. He left the door wide open. Brother Jet came charging through to take the win for the second time yesterday. Still plenty of time, isn't there? Lap time's 41 seconds. Just 1:15, 1:16 on the clock when they went through at the finish line. Good test for all three of these riders here. He's definitely throwing everything at Roxon here. Can't cut to the inside, not this time around. Whoop speed going to be crucial this time around. And Roxon and Jet Lawrence pretty much even Steven through there. They are closing ever so slightly on Hunter Lawrence. He is going to be thinking, please, no deja vu. Not tonight, not race 1, not on the last lap. He will be mindful of that, but hopefully he's got rid of that thought overnight. Getting closer. Will he switch back to the inside? Yes, he does. Is there going to repeat move? Yes, there is. And he parks it down the inside, just not close enough. Maybe here. No. Back marker over on the right-hand side of the whoops. Oh, Jet Lawrence down the inside. Parks Roxon up the bank. It's a Lawrence 1-2. We are getting a deja vu. We're going into the final lap with these two separated by less than a second. Oh, did not see this one coming. All of a sudden, from a mid-pack start, Jet Lawrence in second, in contention for a win. Will it be he or Hunter that takes the W this time around? They will hear the frantic voices of the circuit announcers out on track, and he's getting closer again. Will he have learned anything from yesterday? He will hear the bike down the outside. Is it going to be in this turn this time around? Oh! He knows he's there now. He looks across this time around, and he cuts him off. He did learn his lesson, and Hunter Lawrence wins race 1. Wow. What a race. What a race. Fantastic. Hunter finally gets his first 450 race win. And can you believe it pretty much came down to the same part of the racetrack as it did yesterday in race 2. He knew he was there, look. Showed him his rear wheel, a little bit more left cheek as well. And then the celebration afterwards. Got your back, bro, got your back. We'll grab a quick word with Hunter Lawrence in a moment, but wow, what a race.
Allez, on va aller faire le hot shot. Et moi,
Watch the celebration here. Was it a thumbs up? He's like, yeah, you stay back there. Good job, boys. Right. Do the Oxmoto thing first of all. The Oxmoto whole shot. So, Hunter Lawrence there, gate 5. Best jump, squeezes Bro to the inside, held off Kenny Roxon into the sort of second part of that turn, if you like. And managed to hold on for the win this time around. Give you the official confirmation then. Hunter and Jet, this time roles reversed as they take 1 and 2. Ken Roxon third, Cooper Webb, Greg Aranda, Cedric Subaras, Jordi Tixier, Adrien Escoffier, Ambert and Ramette.
De se rapprocher avec son numéro 96, Hunter Lawrence, donc vainqueur pour la première fois. Hunter was so close last night, but tonight he did it first. Victory with the 450.
Ouais, je n'ai pas oublié la dernière corner hier soir. I wasn't going to let it happen again, so yeah, happy.
Ah, j'ai pas oublié, vous l'avez compris, c'était en français. Il n'avait pas envie que ça se reproduise, donc il a pris la bonne trajectoire et son frère Jet n'a pas trouvé la solution. Honnêtement, Paris La Défense Arena, on est des chanceux. On a Hunter Lawrence, on a vraiment les meilleurs pilotes du monde ce soir. S'il vous plaît, vraiment, je veux un maximum de bruit pour Hunter Lawrence.
Hunter Lawrence finally gets his victory on that 450, and that'll set him up in a good mood for a little bit later on in the day. Francis just loves being up there on the stage, doesn't he? Here's what happened then in that first SX1 race. A great jump from Hunter Lawrence there. From gate number 4, gate number 5, swept across everybody. And then from there, he led every single one of the 12 laps, but he was under pressure from Ken Roxon, who quickly got himself in a second with that move on Cooper Webb. Jet Lawrence was buried in about 7th position at that point. And then once he got clear track, he then started his progress towards the front of the field. But up front, Kenny Roxon trying desperately early on to find his way past the 96 of Hunter Lawrence. Meanwhile, Jet Lawrence finding his way past Gregory Aranda, but Aranda looked across and looked scared and was like, what? Okay, I'll leave the door open, you can come through. Almost gave him too much respect there at that moment in time, but the track was clear then for Hunter Lawrence to go after the riders ahead of him, and he managed to get his way onto the rear wheel of Cooper Webb. He set that up midway through the rhythm section, kept him to the outside. He did something similar to Ken Roxon at the end of the whoops a couple of laps later after he'd reeled him in and just parked him up on this outside line here in this turn. But nothing in it between Hunter Lawrence and Ken Roxon, mindful of the fact by now that Jet was closing in, possibly. Fans on their feet, loving every minute of everything that was going on here between these two up front and watching the number 18 carve his way through the field. And this was a moment that Jet Lawrence did find his way through. He managed to get good drive through there, parked Kenny to the outside. The roar of the crowd. We had a direct shootout going into the final lap, just like we did in race 2 yesterday, where we saw the action in that final turn with Jet going by brother Hunter. And we looked like we were going to get it again. I wasn't sure if he was going to make the move here, but he got good drive coming out of the turn. But this time, Hunter knew that he was there, kept him to the outside, turned down early, and that was it. And it was the "you stay back, my bro," as he come over the line there. But fantastic race, and I'm glad to say that I'm joined by another fantastic rider, Maxime Renault, former MX2 world champion.